the assemblies for all their hard work this week. We turned over 5,593 pages of the stimulus/omnibus bill over to them, and they have been pulling it apart word by word, piece by piece, taking things out. They're going to also add things in, so they're going to make the people have voted, and this needs to come out, and this needs to go in. So I'm looking forward to receiving that in the next day or two. We have to be ready minimum by Wednesday or Thursday. So.
Have no fear. We are, I've been overseeing that, and I've been overseeing that a little bit with you. And I like your setup today. Yeah, that's very cool.
You like that?
Yeah, it looks cool. I can't quite tell what it is, but I feel like you just got off a spaceship.
I'm in a spaceship. See, I'm in command here.
Ah, cool. I like it. It's like
I'm in the command chair.
So, can I just tell you, having been a part of this, I wasn't sure if we were allowed to talk about it yet, but so the budget that is or I guess I should say the dumpster fire, which is the U.S. budget right now, I have never seen anything like it. They approve things that are completely unconstitutional. They cite laws that have been off the books for years. There are whole groups that aren't even really a functioning body of the government, which are very well funded. like what is this stuff? There is so much wreckage in that. But again, an incredible opportunity for the people to carefully dissect the budget, which I would say is probably the first time that's been done in like 100
ever.
years. I mean, nobody has ever gone through this budget. This budget is just like cut and paste whatever you want in there. You know, like at one point there's like $140 million allocated for a barrel of monkeys. No, there's not. I'm just kidding. But it's crazy. I mean,
close.
It's nonsense. Yeah, close.
Close.
Anything's approved. Anything. But $2,000 for people, that's a big controversy. Because it cuts into their bottom line. It's amazing. So that's there's so much flaws in it. It actually creates a lot of opportunity, Kim, because you can actually go in and cite things such as the 1986 adverse injury event or child vaccination program, right? That basically removed liability from the drug companies, the CDC, the FDA, and NIH. Now think about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Congress doesn't have the right to remove liability from a corporation or an individual. But by doing this, since that time, there's been 58 new vaccines created. Isn't that crazy? 58 new vaccines. And every other year, they were supposed to make a report to tell us how they made those vaccines safer and more effective.
Yeah.
So what we can do now in looking at the budget, because there's billions of dollars allocated to vaccinate everybody. So what we can do is say, well, we have a lot of confidence in that, being that there's been 30 years where you've been working on this to make vaccines safer and more effective. Of course, we're all very confident that they'll work, right?
And several $1 billion to pay for the injuries, too, on the dime of the government. Not at all from the pharmaceutical companies that created them in any way.
Right.
And the maximum amount is $250,000. So if you lose a child or a loved one to a vaccine, you get $250,000.
Yeah, they put the value of your legacy at $250K, tops.
Which also reports to the Ways and Means Committee, which is the same place that Human Health Services in every state reports to, which also reports to the Ways and Means Committee in the United Kingdom.
Well, that seems odd.
And the House of Lords. Yeah.
So, the Ways and Means Committee from the United States reports to the Ways and Means Committee in the UK?
Yes.
That would almost seem like we're still just a colony, basically, right? So.
Well, and their job is to generate these birth certificate bonds, right?
Ah.
And they've always gotten funded from the Vatican. Lots of funding from the Vatican, from the hypothecation of those bonds.
From the Holy See, nothing, right?
Yes. Right now they're generating death bonds as in COVID deaths. That's why everybody dies of COVID, because there's a big payout in it for the hospital, doctor, the Ways and Means Committee, or whoever else dies. However, nobody's successfully cashed out on those bonds at this moment.
That seems odd. So there's death bonds that they took out in 2017. And in this, were listed Corona, right? So everyone is going Corona crazy, right? Every single death. You died from a car accident. It was COVID, right? Because the stress of COVID.
Yeah.
Because some reason,
everything to veer off the road.
Yeah. Somebody shoot you in the face with a gun. It was COVID. So nobody dies from anything else but COVID anymore. So, and the whole goal would really be that the hospitals and everyone else cashes out on these death bonds. But no more. Doesn't exist.
I do want to point something out. I don't think we can post it on anything or share it. I'm not sure. But there's a full interview on YouTube with a lady called Catherine Austin Fitz. And Catherine Austin Fitz goes into very, very good detail. We don't have time to do that on today's call. But she basically looks like my walking, talking whiteboard, something I whiteboarded out months and months ago. And she's talking in detail why the virus was chosen, and it's now the global boogeyman, and how to get the whole world to move into the direction that they're looking to move into. And very, very good interview. She's obviously a very talented analyst, and her last name is Fitz, Fitts, Catherine spelled with a C. So it's Catherine Austin Fitz, and it is on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll post it up too. We can provide.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we could do that or not. So
what we'll do is we'll just we'll put just her direct link on our page, so everyone can. We'll put it there for you to check out.
Wonderful interview. The lady spot on. I mean, can't deny it. In the world of COVID, it's not really working out the way that the Chinese and the Black Sun intended it to. The CCP, also known as the Politburo, they had everything was not working fast enough for them in order for them to install global communism. And she actually, coincidentally, I don't know this lady, she actually outlines it exactly like I've outlined it to you, right? So this week in the news, you're now seeing Trump talking about China's interference in the U.S. elections. If you go to RT.com, there's a number of different articles on there as well about China's collusion and the different things that they're doing in America. I've also sent some information, which you'll see up on UNN at some point this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll get this week.
Regarding China's takeover of all the media, ABC, NBC, CNN, and how they've infiltrated all the media in the U.S. in cooperation with the Virginia partners. And now COVID was the way to actually make the final transition. That's where they were going with all of this, right? So we all accept global communism. We've posted many different things all over about the difference between installing communism and the difference in COVID-19. And the fact is there are no differences. You have to achieve these factors in order to get people to accept the government and a one world government under China as their God, right? So that's the plan. This week in the media, you heard it here, a month ago, 2 months ago, I was telling all of you. And now mainstream media is starting to report it. Generals are saying that they're not going along with the communism plan, and they're bailing on China. The Biden campaign has been making phone calls stating that there will be no RV, that they can't help them with that, and that China's broke. China admits that they're broke. They've spent everything they had on their perpetuation of the COVID media virus. And so now, after we got past that, China decided to make a few phone calls to their military associates in Iran and Israel and America and Russia and the UK, because the UK fully signed on for the COVID program with China. So they have a deal, and they're going to split the spoils and, profit from vaccines and death bonds, and they're going to cash them in elders. It's the same program, they've been talking about for years, right? With a different a name to it. So
it is the exact same program. Yes,
it's the exact same program, and everybody believes it because they're old and Chinese. I'm not really sure why. So
it's incredible. Yeah, they just created a new, and this is exactly what they outlined in the Iron Mountain Agenda from like 1967. They have followed it exactly. You have to define a new enemy other than other people is what they were trying to do. If we had an enemy like the environment, so now look, the environment's global warming. We have the economy is now an enemy. We have disease and famine. So the whole idea is this is how they wanted to bring about world peace. But in their version of world peace, there's a lot less of us.
Take a piece.
Yeah, world like take a piece, exactly. Crazy.
Yeah. So that led us to the false flag. We intercepted phone conversations between China and all these different countries about initiating their, I would say, last hurrah or their ripcord or in case of emergency break glass plan, which was to set the Middle East on fire. So we promptly had the Iranian president saying, President Trump, this is your last act, and, we're going to attack, and this and that. And then Israel is also on board. Them and the Iranians work together, been working together since 1984. This whole lie on the media about the Iranians going nuclear, and oh my God, it's so scary, that Netanyahu and everybody used to talk about. Remember, he drew the picture of the bomb at the UN General Assembly a few years back? Yeah. The Israelis sold nuclear weapons to Iran in 1984.
Yeah.
Okay, so, again, it's all a theater, right? So they had an intention, because Israel is an ally, of drawing the U.S., the U.K., and everybody else in on this war, right? Then you had BRICS and I think it's called the SCO, which is their version of the alliance, right? The China-Russia alliance on the other side with Iran, right? So we're going to have a world war.
Like, people think of alliance as good. It's not a good thing. It's like an alliance of villainry or whatever. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All hail the Fuhrer.
Yeah.
So we got wind of all of this starting to take place. U.S. ships were moving into the Middle East again. I mean, it was about to be a full-on nightmare. And so there was a technical glitch with this, and what ended up happening was all of the nuclear arsenals of all of the countries that intended to participate automatically got redirected to their alliance partner. So Iran's would be pointed at China, China's would be pointed at Russia, Russia's would be pointed at Iran. So it kind of goes in a big circle, right? U.S. is going towards the Vatican because we know it's the Black Sun that gave the order, and then UK's would be going in the other direction, and so everybody got aimed at basically all in one day. And
like Reservoir Dogs now, everybody's weapons are pointed at each other. If anybody sets anything off, it's all going to blow up.
And then a stern warning went out from the GIA telling them that if they continue on this path to war in the Middle East, we will fire immediately. So all the ships as of yesterday, U.S. ships were called back to home port, and it's over. And actually, for the first time ever, I actually got an atta-girl from the U.S. military.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, really? The fact, like, when you
just this
eliminate
morning.
the Chinese military... And Kim, let me just show this real quick before you keep going. Just because we've been getting a lot of scrutiny. People are like, I don't know about the Life Force intel. So this is from that exact thing here, right? This is has to do. This is like the
it's pretty small.
Are they like somewhere out here? And they pulled out immediately after this happened. It's a Nimitz carrier.
The USS Nimitz.
Yep.
Is one I know for sure that pulled out. So if you don't believe me, call your other intel sources and check it out for yourself. If you don't believe me and your intel sources, you can also look at RT. All of this, Israel actually goes into denying that they were in cooperation with Iran to start a world war in the Middle East. And nobody accused them of it in the media. But why did they go in and they just issued an article saying they were denying it?
I know.
Okay, so you're going to go...
I didn't say you were fat. are you talking about? Like, why are
I
you
know.
defending yourself?
Why are you defending yourself against something I never, who said that, right?
It's kind of red. And then, like, what happened with CNN? CNN came out, and they said that Biden stepped down.